So let's talk about a name you might not hear at every single milonga, but who is an absolute giant in the history of tango, Roberto Firpo. He was one of the most traditional, creative, and frankly productive musicians the genre has ever seen. And yet somehow, he's kind of flown under the radar for many. We're going to find out why.
And you gotta understand, this quote, this wasn't about landing a big contract or getting famous. This was the day Roberto Firpo finally bought his very first piano. And that story, right there, that feeling of pure passion and sacrifice, that's the key to understanding his music.
That's really the big question, isn't it? I mean, how does a guy who literally shaped the sound of tango, who recorded something like 3,000 songs, end up being a hidden gem? Well, let's dig in and uncover the story of Roberto Firpo.
Yeah, Firpo's story, it definitely wasn't a walk in the park. His journey to that piano was paved with just incredible dedication and years of really hard work, which honestly just makes what he accomplished all the more remarkable. You know, his early life was just a world away from any stage. He actually quit school to help his dad, moved to Buenos Aires, and just worked all the time. He was a bricklayer, a milkman, a factory laborer, you name it. And every single peso he could scrape together went toward that 200 peso dream. And then, get this, just 4 years after finally buying that piano, he's making his debut at one of the most famous cafes in the entire city. It is so hard to overstate how important his contributions were. I mean, think about it. Before Firpo, the piano wasn't even a standard part of a tango orchestra. He's the one who made it essential. He also brought this new kind of romantic feeling to the music, and he was a technical innovator too, using the foot pedal to give the piano this richer, fuller sound. Okay, and then there's the story that really seals his legend. Even if his name isn't the one you see on the sheet music, this is the story of La Cumparsita, and you better believe Firpo is smack dab in the middle of it. So here's how it went down. La Cumparsita didn't just appear out of nowhere. It started when some students brought Firpo this simple little 2-part march. That night, overnight, he remembered 2 of his own tangos he'd written years before and forgotten about, and he wove them together to create that iconic 3rd section we all know. The premiere? It wasn't just a hit. People there described it as an apotheosis, a total triumph. But here's the really bittersweet part of the whole thing. It's just wild, right? His genius completely transforms the song, but he never got his name on it. He never saw a cent of the millions of pesos in royalties that it made. He basically gave the world the tango of all tangos and walked away with nothing but the story. So, how does all of this actually feel on the dance floor? To really get a handle on Firpo's style, we're going to break down this incredible Tanda from his orchestral period. It's the perfect way to hear his genius in action. All right, so here's the breakdown. We're looking at his orchestra between 1935 and 1937. These are all instrumental tracks, perfect for a milonga. And what makes this Tanda extra special is that it's pure Firpo. He wrote every single one of these songs. It's like a direct window into his musical brain. So the Tanda kicks off with La Carcajada, which literally means the laugh. And honestly, that's the perfect word for it. The song is energetic, it's playful, but it's not too much. It just pulls you right in, you know? Like a really warm, friendly handshake that says, hey, welcome to the dance floor. And get this, the tempo is 60 beats per minute, and that is totally on purpose. It's just slow enough that you never feel rushed as a dancer. It gives you all the space you need to breathe, to really connect with the music, to play around with the phrasing, and just express every little nuance. What's so cool is that this Tanda tells a story. You can feel it in the key changes. It starts you off in B-flat minor, then it shifts into this kind of thoughtful F minor, and then bam! It hits you with this bright, uplifting E-flat major before it finally brings you back home. It's a whole emotional roller coaster, but it's so well crafted, it never feels chaotic. And this quote, man, it just nails it. It really captures the magic of Firpo's music from this era. It's got that classic, old-school vibe, for sure, but the way he arranges it, it just feels so fresh and new. It's like finding a surprising new detail in a photo you've looked at 1,000 times. So, what's the big takeaway here? Why are we still talking about Firpo? Well, beyond just this one Tanda, his influence is so deep and it's still totally relevant for anyone who loves tango today. Well, for one, his arrangements were just sublime. I mean, incredibly complex. He used this whole rich palette of instruments, clarinets, muted trumpets. In a song like Home Row, for example, he has the woodwinds carrying the main melody, which was a really brilliant and different choice for the time.
And then there's just the sheer volume of his work. It is absolutely staggering. Think about it. He made over 1,600 recordings just in the acoustic era. By the end of his career, he was getting close to 3,000. The man wasn't just creative, he was a machine.
So how can you use a tanda like this? It's actually super versatile. You could play it right at the start of a milonga to set this really warm, reflective mood. Or imagine dropping this in the middle of a packed floor. It would be such a delightful surprise and a great way to introduce dancers to his unique sound. Roberto Firpo really is a titan of tango, a true hidden gem just waiting to be rediscovered. So I'll just leave you with this thought. When was the last time you found one for yourself? Listening to Firpo is an invitation to dig a little deeper, because sometimes the best musical discoveries are the ones you have to work for just a little bit.